Hi, welcome to Story Time. I'm Ms. Mary Jo with the Massanutten Regional Library, and I have got some stories today about tales. Now, I wanted to have this poster here. This is about our summer reading program that's happening all summer long, and the theme is Tales and Tales, and you see they're spelled two different ways. So tails, T-A-I-L-S, is the kind of tail an animal has, and T-A-L-E-S, tales, is another word for stories. So all summer long there are going to be lots of great stories, many of them different animals and interesting tales that they have. So if you want to participate in summer reading program and you keep track of how much you're reading, and then there are prizes, and it's all online on the computer. I'll just tell you about this before I read the stories. You can come into the library and pick up a bookmark, summer reading bookmark, Tales and Tales, and find out how to sign up so that you can participate in that too. And all summer long, I'll be reading some stories along those themes. So today's stories are all about tales, like animal tales. The first one is called Who Wiggles This Tail? And it's a guessing book. So look closely at the pictures and see if you can guess what some of the animals are before we find out. I bet you'll be able to figure them out. Who Wiggles This Tail? It's by Carrie Meister. Whether light and fluffy or long and strong, animal tails are wonderful. Do you know who wiggles this tail? Guess and then turn the page to find out. Who wiggles this tail? Do you know what animal has a tail like that? Should we see? It's a bunny. A bunny's tail is small and fluffy. Who wiggles this tail? Did you say cow? A cow's tail swats away pesky flies. Who wiggles this tail? A skunk. A bushy tail rises in warning. When threatened, the skunk will spray smelly oil from its rear end. P.U. You ever smelled the skunk? It really stinks. Who wiggles this tail? Wow, it's a bright yellow tail. An angelfish. A bright yellow tail swishes back and forth. It helps this fish glide through the water. Who wiggles this tail? Wow, look at those colors. A peacock. This bird's beautiful tail feathers charm the ladies and attract a mate. That is an amazing tail. Who wiggles this tail? Have you seen a tail like that? Ring-tailed lemur. A lemur keeps its striped tail raised to tell others in its group to follow. Who wiggles this tail? You might have one of these at your house. A cat. A furry tail helps a cat balance on a tricky walk. Who wiggles this tail? Humpback whale. This huge tail is called a fluke. The humpback slaps it on the water to communicate with other whales. Who wiggles this tail? This one makes a rattle. A rattlesnake. Shake, shake, shake. A rattling tail warns animals to stay away from this dangerous snake. Who wiggles this tail? A hippo. A hippo flings poop with its tail to mark its territory. Yuck! Who wiggles this tail? That looks like a scaly tail. An iguana. If this lizard loses its tail, the animal simply grows a new one. Wow, how about that? Who wiggles this tail? A kangaroo. A kangaroo can balance on its tail when boxing. Look at that. It's like he has an extra leg. Who wiggles this tail? A fox. A fox stays warm by wrapping its tail around parts of its body. Who wiggles this tail? A child. That's silly. A child doesn't have a real tail, but pigtails are pretty close. Tails are so cool. They help animals swim, balance, and communicate. Do you wish you had a tail? That's the end. Could be fun to have a tail, huh? So I've got another tail story, and this one is called The Perfect Tail, a Fred and Lulu story by Mia Araki. And in this one, he's trying on, I think it's Fred, is trying on all kinds of tails. He's trying to find the perfect tail. One day, Fred met Rodney by the stream. "Lovely day for laundry, isn't it?" said Rodney, but Fred didn't answer. He was too busy admiring Rodney's striped tail. He thought about it all the way home. "I wish I had a striped tail like Rodney's," he said. So he painted a beautiful stripe on his tail, but it washed away in the shower. The next day, Fred met Myrtle at the playground. "Great day for swimming," said Myrtle. "Care to join me?" But Fred was speechless with admiration. He couldn't take his eyes off Myrtle's long tail. Wow, that is a long tail. He thought about it all the way home. "I wish I had a long tail like Myrtle's," he said. So he tied a long ribbon to his own tail, but it got all tangled up with his jump rope. The next day, Fred went for a picnic with Peter. "Aren't these sunflower seeds delicious?" said Peter. But Fred couldn't eat. He was all choked up over Peter's colorful tail. He thought about it all the way home. "I wish I had a colorful tail like Peter's," he said. So he glued bright feathers all over his tail, but they fell off when he danced. The next day, Fred met Penny eating flowers. "Care for a snack?" said Penny. But Fred could only gasp. Penny's spiky tail took his breath away. He thought about it all the way home. "I wish I had a spiky tail like Penny's," he said. So he stuck a bunch of toothpicks onto his tail. But then he couldn't sit down. Ouch! The next day, Fred was going swimming when he heard a voice say, "What a fine tail you have." Fred turned around. "You mean me?" he said. "Of course," said Lulu. "It's not too stripy, it's not too long, it's not too colorful, it's not too spiky. It's perfect. Want to go swimming?" So Fred and Lulu went swimming together, and Fred didn't have to worry about his stripe washing off. They had a picnic together, and Fred's tail didn't hurt a bit when he sat down. They danced together, and no feathers fell off of Fred's tail. They jumped rope together, and Fred's tail didn't get tangled up at all. "Thank you, Lulu," said Fred. "This was a wonderful day." "You're welcome, Fred," said Lulu. "I had a good time, too." And, said Fred, "You have a wonderful horn." "Thank you," said Lulu. "I thought you'd never notice." And that's the end. All right, thanks for joining me for story time. I hope to see you next time with some more tales about tails. Thanks. Bye.